All right, gurus. Times are rapidly changing, and since money and image are playing more of a role in our culture and generation, the question may arise: have minority women and women of color looked for men with money more today than in times before?
Based on social media, it seems so.
What else? What else do people post? They if it's not
Exactly.
they posting their money, you know, they're posting their successful lives and all of the good stuff. So that's what the reality um looks like on
Mhm.
social media.
Yeah.
So, you know, people just taking all of this stuff in, like it just, you know, that's what it looks like it's supposed to be. So that's what women are looking for, I guess.
If we go back to, like, the 90s, go back to the 80s, the 70s, and basically looking for men with money or wanting to be taken care of to a degree, with women of color, um what's going on today goes against the history of hardworking black women coming
Mhm.
out of the 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and part of the 90s. So I mean, it's like a almost like a gobswap, smack, if you will. Like like how did we get to a place now to wherein openly this is not a situation where somebody is being quiet about it, and
Yeah.
somebody is quiet expecting a certain type of thing. This is a
Right.
situation where openly and outwardly basically saying that we no longer can rely on ourselves. I don't know what y'all think about it.
I think that we just in very different times. People are just really shallow these days. Like I don't agree with the people that's just like, if you're not working in this bracket, you're not making this type of money, you're not for me. I don't know how that's a characteristic. That's shallow. So I personally, I don't respect that. And like, it doesn't matter who you are, like what you make and all that stuff like that. Like that don't have nothing to do with a relationship. Yes, it's a commitment. And if you're married, things come with it. It becomes like a business, so to speak. But it's just like, if that's what you're going after, like, why are you even worried about that? Like, worry about yourself. Worry about what you make and all of that. It's just like, I understand wanting somebody equal, but then I look at it like, well, what do you like? It sounds like an insecurity if you don't have somebody that on the outside looks like what you look like, then it's a problem. Like that's some self problems right there.
Do you guys feel like other races of women um, aren't as open as black women are today um, about wanting men to take care of them?
That they aren't as open. I know what I feel like is they just come from a different dynamic, so they don't have those kind of struggles, so to speak. They don't. That's not something that they're used to. They don't see that. Like I work with people from all different backgrounds, yeah, and this is not something that goes on with them.
Hey,
The
they
woman might be
already
making
have that
more,
for the
whatever.
most part. Like
You're the
Yeah,
only one
that's
that
how
have to experience that.
they life is set up
exactly.
anyway, probably in
Yeah,
the first place. Like that's
yeah,
just that's always been the what it is for them,
mhm,
Um,
mhm.
so
And
when
that's
it comes,
normal.
yeah,
Right.
that's normal. Like
Yeah.
that, they
Uh-huh.
expect that. That's what it is. Like the parents expect, their daughter to be taken care of, by this young man. Like that's just an expectation. So,
Yeah.
um, yes, there was a time where, you know, uh,
Because the quote strong black woman is associated with the black woman or the minority woman that can go provide for herself. I'm not saying that
Yeah.
that is it, but
Yeah.
when people say strong black woman,
that
Yeah.
actually gets on my nerves a little bit. You know why?
Hmm.
Because yes, we are very strong, the
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
strongest of them all.
Yep.
Okay. But we didn't ask to be this damn
And
strong.
we don't want to be strong
Exactly.
all the
We
damn
don't
time
necessarily
either.
want
We
to
shouldn't
have
have
to
to.
be
We
Want
should
to
this
be
not have
damn
strong all
to.
the
strong.
time.
Like,
Exactly.
come help me.
Right.
Right. Listen,
I
that's
want to be
not how
strong
it was
all the time.
designed.
Who gonna save me? I want to be saved.
Exactly. That's not how it's designed. Like, I don't agree with the man needs to do everything like he's your crutch for everything, but I definitely agree where the man is supposed to be the head. And that's deeper than money. Like, he's really supposed to be the lead,
These
for
sassy,
everything.
these sassy
But
men
that
nowadays, honey, you can't expect nothing.
no, it's
Because
weird and it's just different right now. Like, people
very
don't, and when they hear provide, they think money. Then like, oh, I don't have the money, so I don't have this and that. People just they don't got it together. That's it. It's all
Let me
over the
ask
place.
you this as a man though, Blake, and as a black man, does it like what's going on right now? Do you think that that's more of a motivation for black men to step it up more, or do you think that it's
in a black man's mind,
in today's black man's mind.
yeah, in a today's black man mind, I really don't think, I think the it's changed,
Mhm.
and some of it is due to society, some of it is due to high pricing, some of it, however, there are older men who just, but some older men don't even want, their wives to work.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like, they don't even, are you kidding me? That's the situation. And a lot of times, some people think that the perspective on it is generational.
Mhm.
Mhm.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Definitely.
if you're a man coming out of, let's say, the 70s, you believe there was men back in the day that just used to come home and hand their checks to their wives, and
Mhm.
the wife would, take care of the family.
Right.
Um,
my daddy?
Nowadays, if you combine child support and people being involved with the wrong individual,
Mhm.
men took on a perspective of, oh, hell no. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So again, some of it is Instagram, some of it is social media shaping shaping what we view, and then some of it is basically generational. And
Yeah.
yeah, but I agree wholeheartedly that, a strong black woman, the quote strong black woman, shouldn't be looked at the way it is,
Mhm. It really
especially
shouldn't.
by people outside of black and brown communities.
It's all of these things, like you were saying, Blake, Instagram, society, generational. When you break all of it down, it's really brokenness. That's really all it is.
But that was the
It's
plan anyway.
brokenness within the community. That's it.
That was
That's
the
it.
plan.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It
and
really
and
wasn't.
so I really think though that when people do come together, especially in minority communities, we got to set the pace. We got to set the example. We got to set whatever, that's why I say, like, yo, we don't do enough talking sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we don't, get down, because it's difficult.
Yeah.
A lot of people, let's be real, a lot of people don't want to associate with anything difficult,
Mm-hmm.
and talking to somebody and huh?
I said, and two, people only worried about self. They're not gonna come
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
Everybody's
Right.
worried about self.
That's our
Mhm.
problem.
Yep.
That's
Everybody's
our
worried
problem.
about
And that's that it goes down deep. People are worried about self, and then that goes down to businesses in our community. That
Yep.
goes down to how we're being perceived by other people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Yep.
It's
Mhm.
horrible.
It is.
We have to do healing
Yeah.
as a community. It's like you said, it's about self, but that is derived from a place of where it had to be about self,
Yeah,
and
but even in the hardest times, I don't mean to cut you, but even in the hardest times like slavery, they weren't worried about self.
You're right.
They weren't
Yeah.
worried about
Absolutely.
self in slavery. They were not worried about
Mhm.
self. They were worried about this.
Yeah.
well, and then from there it developed into
Exactly.
a,
Because that's
a
what they
need to
created.
worry about self to get
That's
ahead,
what they
to,
created. That's what they
you
wanted.
know, to come
Yeah.
up, to
Mhm,
be okay, to
Yup,
you
yup.
know,
Mhm.
And it's one thing if it's about self, but it's another thing to tear somebody else down.
Yeah,
Right.
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Everybody has different walks of life.
You
Everybody
can be
Exactly.
about
something.
self, but if you
Mhm,
feel a need to tear somebody else's business down, somebody
Mhm.
else's black business or somebody else's brown business down,
mhm.
because you're so motivated in self, and that's another
That's
problem.
the problem, right? There got to be a boundary. Like you could be about yourself, but it still ain't all about you at the end of the day.
Yeah. It's all
Mhm.
about you, especially when you have a business, you have to be
Mhm.
about your community. You know, you
Right.
have
Like
to
how you
be
run the
about,
business ain't about
yeah,
you.
you're
Make
serving
that
the,
make
you're
sense.
serving your community, so you have to be
Right.
a part. You have to be a part. You may not want to, oh, I don't like people, I don't like this, but you want people to come work at or come shop at your establishment or
Yeah.
buy from yours. It's like, come on.